Hello, my name is Henriette and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'd love to have you here. In this video, I want to show you how I continue to decorate my house in a Victorian theme. And I'm going to be doing the kitchen, and I'll also be showing you how I'm going to set the table for this Christmas. So here comes my kitchen before I start, all empty and ready to be decorated. I decided to start over by the windows because they're the first thing you really notice when you walk into our kitchen. And I'm using some garlands here. These are really old garlands, but they're still usable, so up they go. I really want our kitchen to feel cozy, so I decided to add lights to my garlands because I think that just adds a bit of coziness. Then it was time to decorate the garlands just a little bit, and I've gotten out some of my acorns that I use for the autumn, and I'm going to paint them with Robin Buff, and I'm again using a European gold and an antique gold that I'm mixing together. Once the acorns were dry, I attached them to some jute rope. This is 10mm thick jute rope, just using my glue gun. And I'm making sure that I attach 2 acorns to one rope, if you like, to create a loop. I then made sure that they hang exactly how I want them to hang before I add a bit of rope around all the other ropes. I attach this new piece of rope with a bit of glue from my glue gun, and then I just go round and around and around to make it look really pretty. This is a great craft for Christmas. I mean, it's quite fast, and you can also use it if you have some pine cones or maybe some cowbells, something like that. I think that would look really pretty too. Once I've finished going round and around with the rope, I just attach it to the other end using my glue gun, and then just cut off the end bit. And voila, we have a finished decoration. I made 2 of these hanging acorn decorations, which I'm now going to hang up in my windows. I think they work really well. They're just so pretty, they're simple. I am also going to add some burgundy ribbon, like I've done a lot for this Christmas, just to make it look a bit more Victorian, and I think that really works, and that's all I'm going to do in this corner. In the other corner, I'm going to add the star that my mum found in Copenhagen, and if you haven't seen that video, I'll be sure to link it below. I'm going to keep the windowsills quite simple. I'm just going to add some Dickens books and a reindeer or 2. If you did watch the video where I visited my mum in Copenhagen, you'll probably remember these 2 little wreaths that I bought. And I thought they would look really cute on these photographs that we have on the wall between the 2 windows. The next area I wanted to concentrate on was the little shelf above our cooker. I had some more of this old garland left over, so I thought it might work here, but I'm hanging it not too low because we are obviously going to be using the cooker for Christmas and I don't want to burn anything. These pomegranate stems are by Gisela Graham, and I will link them below if they're still available. They just really work so well with my theme. As I'm decorating our kitchen, I also want to make sure that I capture the scent of Christmas. So I'm adding some lime slices that I have dried in my oven. A few more decorations and I think this area is done. So I'm getting out my tea towels. I love using tea towels when I decorate the kitchen because it just adds a pop of colour. I'm not going to put too many decorations on either side of the cooker because of course we are going to be using it and it's going to be a very busy area. We are going to be 12 people for our Christmas dinner, so busy indeed. But I think just simply using ribbons can go a long way to make a little space like this feel decorated. Those of you who are regular on my channel will probably recognise this pot. It's one that I painted myself, and I'm reusing it yet again because I think this neutral colour works well with my theme, and of course I already had it, so I didn't have to buy anything new. And the same also goes for this little brown tray, which I'm going to style with items that we use all the time. Now this chili oil here is one that I made myself, and I'll make sure that I link the video below in the description box so that you can make some too. It is a great Christmas present idea. Again, over in our little coffee corner, I'm going to be using things we've already got. I don't want to spend too much money on decorations this year, so I'm trying to be very frugal. Now these are my favourite cups. They are not necessarily Christmas cups, but I love them, so they're coming out. And to add that little bit of Christmas, I'm just going to pop in a little tea towel with some bells. However, I am going to go a lot more Christmassy when it comes to our shelves. And I've started off by adding some of this potpourri, I think you might call it. So it's a lot of cones together with some cinnamon sticks and some more lime slices. And that will add to the sense of the room, which is just gorgeous. On these other shelves, I'm just adding things which I've already got, or things that I've made, like this star, and I'll be sure that I'll leave a link to that video in the description box below. One thing I am doing though is making sure that I stick to my colour scheme so that everything will tie together when it's finished. So the burgundy bows are coming out again, and look at the difference they make. Then it was time to decorate our kitchen island, and I'm going to start off by using this dish. This is a metal dish that I've had for probably 10 years. It is from America and it came from Pottery Barn. And I'm going to start off by laying out this garland. This garland has got a bit of eucalyptus in it, which kind of ties in with my theme. I then bring in my trifle bowl, which adds a bit of height, and I'm filling it up with loads of clementines. I really like using big dishes like this one to decorate in, because if you need the space, you can just lift the whole thing up and move it to one side. I'm going to add a few more things to it to make it a bit more visually interesting. So here come some little wooden houses. I'm going to bring in the rest of my acorns that I painted, and I'm also going to add some more cinnamon sticks and some more lemon and orange slices, just so that I get that lovely smell of Christmas in the air. And of course I'm going to add some more of that burgundy ribbon, just to make it tie in with the rest. Now for the other side of the island, I'm going to get creative, and this is a craft that I've been doing since I was a child. It's a very Scandinavian thing to do. So you start off with a bit of clay. You can buy this from most hobby stores. I'm going to use the whole bit of clay here. I make a hole in the middle so that I can fit in my calendar candle. Once the candle is in, I just go around the edges, pushing down the clay to make sure that the candle is absolutely secure. Then using real fir tree branches, I cut off some smaller pieces which I then insert into the clay. And I tend to go around the back and build it up slowly so it looks really full. And I leave a gap at the front and a little bit around the candle too, which I'm going to decorate differently. In order to completely hide the clay, I'm going to be using some fir tree cones. I'm also using some cones from our cedar tree, which I've painted gold. and any other natural looking Christmassy bits that I can find around the house. So I found some more of these berries that I've used in my previous decorations, in my previous videos, and also some more cones. I've got some cinnamon sticks and some orange slices, of course. The idea is that you build it up and up and up until you can't see the clay any longer. And I'm using little bits of fir tree for the final little holes that I can't fill with anything else. Not only does this make for a nice decoration, it also smells good too. The kitchen is finished and here it comes. And I hope you've really enjoyed this video so far. If you have, please like, comment and subscribe. I absolutely love your messages. I can't emphasize that enough. I love chatting with you and I promise I'll always reply. I'm really happy with how this turned out. It certainly has added a lot of coziness, which is what I really wanted, and it smells delightful in here too. My husband Mike is also really happy because I've left him enough room so that we've got plenty of space to do the Christmas cooking. I also hope that I've captured the feel of the Victorian era, but please let me know what your thoughts are about that. I promised I was going to show you our Christmas table for this year. So let's get started because I have to make it first. I'm kicking off by making some napkins. You've seen me do this before, but just for those who haven't seen it before, I usually make them 20 inches by 20 inches. That's a really good size napkin. And in order to stop them from fraying, I make sure that I zigzag around the edges because it will make them last for much longer. If you are new to sewing, then this is a great place to start because they're quite easy. I'm making 12 and you'll see them again soon when I set the table. Next, I wanted to create a real atmosphere above the table. So I dug out all these paper stars or snowflakes that I've also had for a long time, and I'm hanging them up in our ceiling. I'm using a bit of nylon string and some little plastic hooks that we've constantly got sitting on the ceiling because I'm forever hanging things up. Finally, the actual table, and I'm starting with a white tablecloth. This is one I've made myself, and again I've had it for a long time. I'm giving it a quick hand iron here because ironing is not one of my favourite things to do. For this table setting, I'm just going to be using plain white plates, and I'm going to pair those with my gold cutlery. Gold has very much been a big part in my Victorian Christmas theme, so I want to make sure I get some of that on the table too. Then I'm just going to be adding some glasses, and I'm just going to be using a wine glass and a water glass. It was finally time to add some greenery to this table, so I've popped down to my cutting garden which we planted not that long ago, and I'm going to be cutting some eucalyptus and also some branches from our bay bushes. I'm someone who decorates a lot, as you probably know by now, and I found it so useful having this cutting garden. And then I got distracted because I realised that our neighbours were out. So of course there's nothing better than a few horsey cuddles over the fence. And these are all the naughty boys that are out in this field, but they are so funny and I love having them here. This gorgeous one was determined to find his way into my pocket. I didn't have a treat in there, but still, he wanted to check it out to just be sure. Back to the job in hand, and the last thing I wanted to take a few cuttings off was our rosemary bush. I mean, this is such a prolific grower, so I can just chop away. And now for creating the centerpiece for our Christmas table. And I'm going to start off with some fir tree branches. I think they're a really nice base when you do something like this. And to make it look more visually interesting, I'm using all the stuff that I just picked in the garden. I think it works so well when you mix all these different greeneries together. All the different green colours just adds to it. I also wanted to bring in some of my dried and spray painted hydrangeas, and it's all about that colour, that lovely burgundy colour. And for a bit of that lovely Christmas aroma, I'm adding some cinnamon sticks and some more dried limes and oranges. The last things I'm going to add to our centerpiece is a few more of our cedar tree cones. I think all tables deserve some candles, and I've gone for these tapered candles which I'll put into my brass candlesticks. To make my napkins a little bit more Christmassy, I decided to colour drench them. So I'm using a bit of velvet ribbon and also some berries that I had left over, just as a napkin ring. I want this table to be super special, so I'm adding these little paper trees. I picked them up in Copenhagen too. For me, Christmas is all about special treats. And so I like adding a few chocolates to the table that you can then take home with you or eat them while you're here. And that's my Christmas table done, other than lighting the candles, of course. And here comes the finished table. And that is all from me today, other than to say that I'm so very grateful for all the support you've given me this year, my very first year on YouTube. You have been superb. And I wish you all a Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I hope you get to spend time with your loved ones. All there's left for me to say is much love from London.